Hi, tonight I'm going to talk to you about the article that you read on Parsons. And the most important thing to understand about this article, to understand it in a global sense, is that he's talking about organizations as structures. And he's often referred to, the kind of work that Parsons does, is referred to as structural functionalism. So he's looking at the structure of organizations, how they're put together, kind of giving you an overall blueprint of organizations. And he's saying that he's not talking about any one particular organization, but he's saying that he's identifying the features that are common to all organizations, so that they have a structure and then they have a certain kind of function or certain types of functions that are important to them. So what's key to understanding Parsons is that he sees organizations as social systems. So we're living in the world, we're part of a larger system, so you have all these smaller units, and then you have the larger unit that you could say is society. So he uses also the metaphor of the body. So you have the arms, you have the legs, you have the brain, the heart, and organizations have all these different parts, or you could talk about departments or individuals who have different kinds of responsibilities in organizations, and together it forms the whole. So that's the important thing to understand, that they're social structures and then they're a part of the larger social structure. So in the US, corporations take on a certain kind of form, they take on a certain kind of shape that might be individual, that might be somewhat different than they are in other cultures. And he talks about things like values. So all organizations, and he talks about this important concept that organizations have to legitimate themselves. So they have to have certain kinds of values to give them an idea of what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it. And most importantly, he talks about organizations having a goal. So every organization has a goal. And you can think about the companies that you work for, or that you've worked for, or you can think about Brooklyn College. It has a larger goal, and then all of the different divisions have different parts to create or to bring about that goal. So the admissions office, the registrar, professors, students, everyone has their own role in bringing about the goal, which is to provide education. So everyone has their position within the larger social organization and then in the larger society. So the organization exists. Why does Brooklyn College provide an education? Because employers need it, because the society, the government feels that citizens should have this kind of preparation. So it wouldn't exist in another type of society. So we have to always remember the environment exerts an influence on the organization. And Parsons also talks about how each organization has certain features. For example, every organization has to get resources. They have to provide some type of product or service, so that's an important facet of every organization. There have to be decisions that are made, right? There have to be people that make policy decisions. There have to be people who decide issues about human resources, about employment, about taxes, accounting. All of those different functions have to exist within an organization. So when you read the article, think about it. It's very abstract. It's talking about a situation that applies in some sense to all organizations, but each one will have take on a different shape because it has a different goal. It has different value systems in the organization. If you're a luxury hotel, right, you have a certain kind of purpose. You are serving a certain kind of clientele. Your goals, your values, the kinds of resources you're dealing with are going to be very different than if you're in the transportation business or if you're in the education sector. So think about what the organization is doing. Think about your organizations that you're working for, and start to think about how that can help you understand the concept of organizations in general. So I'll continue next time with another video talking about the next reading and talking about your projects. But for now, your mission is to understand Parsons and to understand it in context, not just in the abstract. Thanks for listening.